I cannot believe that there's actually 1,500 of you now. I am so beyond grateful for all of the support, and as a thanks, I wanted to take y'all on another trip to another undisclosed location. The catch is, we only have 24 hours. So sit back, relax, and most importantly, welcome to Charlotte, also known as the Queen City. My first time coming here, I got absolutely obliterated by a pageant mom. Here's to hoping that the next 24 hours change my mind about the city. Our first stop wasn't even in Charlotte. It was the Pickle Fetish Company and Museum. Am I allowed to say that on here? Oh well, it's worth it. This small shop in Lincolnton was a store and a museum wrapped in one, and I decided to talk to the owner about a very special piece.
So this panel here is an actual panel, partial panel from a freight train. So you know when you're sitting on the railroad tracks and you watch the trains go by? So this is actually a panel from a railroad train with original pickle graffiti that we found at, it was Black Dog Salvage, which is a salvage yard up in Virginia. So last month we drove all the way up there and picked that up. It weighs like 550 pounds, but the artwork was so unique, we had to get it and bring it back for the museum.
It's beautiful. I had no idea it was like part of the train.
It was an actual part of the train. So what we want to end up doing is make it into a selfie wall.
That would be really cool.
So as soon as I get my labels ready for it, we're going to just open it up and turn it into a little selfie wall so people could come and get their picture taken there. As we entered Charlotte, I had one thing on my mind, something I have been working on all year. First stop in Charlotte, and I would not let this trip go by without going to a Bin's. There are 5 Goodwill outlets in North Carolina, and Charlotte, oh boy, Charlotte was my last stop. What is it? Thankfully this time, it was just an allergy medicine instead of the Fent I found in an old lady jacket at the Greensboro Bin's. And don't worry, I disposed of that one properly. The jacket also had 3 quarters and a cough drop, if you were wondering. Most times, I could spend all day at the Bin's, but I gave myself a 2-hour hard limit since we only had 24 hours here. And that was more than enough for this one. I think because people gave the Charlotte Bin's such high expectations and kept hyping it up, that my own expectations were not met. And I don't think that's the fault of Charlotte. The vibes were super chill and everyone was friendly, which is definitely a plus for a Bin's. Also, it was pretty clean. The only bad thing was the selection was just not weird enough for my taste. A lot of the stuff was very normal looking, which is great if you're into that sort of thing. So we just got done with the Bin's, and now I have officially been to every single Bin's in North Carolina, which means I will be ranking them all very soon, and I know where this one is already going on my ranking. By the time we were done with that, it was time for dinner, and I was looking around wondering why every parking spot was $40 and everyone was wearing the same outfit. And I wasn't just gonna start zooming in on random people without their consent, so you're gonna have to settle for my outfit, which I bedazzled the hat. For dinner, we went to Ilios Greek Cafe, which was really, really good. And this place is actually really good for anyone with celiac, as long as you ask them to swap out the gloves in between handling your food and someone else's. This stuff was really authentic, and I'm always happy to see a lot of bean options and other vegetable options at any restaurant, so I give this a 10 out of 10. After dinner, we headed back to the hotel, which for the first time was actually in the heart of the city. The sunset was beautiful. After dinner, because we couldn't find an ice cream place that was allergy friendly,
we decided to just go get some from the nearest Sprouts, which we don't have at home. I really gotta hand it to Charlotte. Although the city looks pretty nice in the day, it's absolutely spectacular by night. Driving through and just looking at all the lights was such a treat. Almost as much of a treat as the ice cream that we got. I first found this ice cream when we went to Cincinnati, and it's kind of become a thing to get it every single time we go somewhere now. Mostly because ice cream shops don't tend to carry allergy-friendly options. So after enjoying my delicious ice cream in my fancy hotel robe, I decided to head off to bed. We decided to spend our first and final morning in Charlotte at the hotel breakfast lounge, which had lots of wonderful foods, most of which I couldn't have. But it was still really cool to see all of the variety that they did have. We then made plans for the final hours of our trip while we enjoyed the nice tea by the fire. Our first stop was the Mint Museum in Uptown Charlotte. Annie Leibovitz's life work so far was on display in one of the main galleries. I found her life extremely interesting, as well as her work. Lots of the other art pieces were very inspiring to look at, but this one was my absolute favorite. There were sculptures and all sorts of mediums being used. I think we ended up spending around 4 hours in this museum. It's pretty big, and you could be in there all day if you really tried. This museum had a great effort to showcase as many diverse artworks and artists as possible. They also had you return your admission tab, which was for sustainability. After spending 4 hours in the museum, we were both pretty hungry. So we decided to take about a 1.5 mile stroll down to a wonderful little restaurant called Flower Child. And after losing our favorite hippie restaurant in Asheville recently, it was nice to get to finally feel like home. This place takes allergies, and especially celiac, very seriously. I would recommend it to anyone who has any sorts of allergies. I got grilled tofu along with the hummus platter, and it was really good. Definitely recommend. Sometimes you just need to try things twice, because now I love this city. And our 24 hours has come to an end, so I hope you have a day just as beautiful as you are. Alright, my friends. Bye!
This is a good view.